Hello, everyone. In today's lesson, we will explore the definitions of sentence fragments, their types, and their functions within complex sentences. We will also discuss where sentence fragments should not be used and how to correct them in formal writing. Additionally, we will examine how sentence fragments differ from phrases and clauses. If you remember, we identified phrases and dependent clauses as sentence fragments when they stand alone without other content that could provide a complete thought. While phrases and dependent clauses are types of sentence fragments, there are additional aspects that make it somewhat confusing to distinguish fragments in longer sentences and to easily identify them. But don't worry, throughout this lesson, you will learn much more about the features and the conditions of fragments. To define sentence fragments, I have brought two formal definitions. Number one, the sentence fragments are chunks of sentences that can't stand alone to give complete thought. A sentence fragment is a phrase or a clause written as a sentence, but lacking an element such as a subject, a verb, or a complete thought that enable it to function as an independent sentence in normative written English. So, according to those two definitions, we notice that a sentence fragment lacks one of the three essential components required to form a complete sentence. These are the subject, the verb, or a complete thought. And although a fragment may be punctuated to resemble a full sentence, it often sounds like a thought that has been carelessly expressed. Some examples: leaking profusely, washed clean by the rain, the hot air balloon, the baby's diaper, looking forward to seeing you. Contextual fragments can sometimes be meaningful and grammatically correct, but their significance and grammaticality are derived from surrounding sentences. Look at this dialogue. Mom, where are you going? Child, to the playground. The prepositional phrase to the playground doesn't make sense on its own, but it's very acceptable answer within the context. And this is why the fragments are often acceptable in conversation, informal speech, or casual writing. To transform the fragments into a complete sentence, we would need to add a subject and a verb to become I am going to the playground. The third type is the subordinate clause fragment that modifies a main clause or some parts of it, and it always begins with a subordinate conjunction. For example, the dogs ran into the field when the farmer opened the gate. Here, the subordinate clause starts with the adverbial conjunction when, and although it has a subject and a verb, its completion of meaning depends on the preceding independent clause. When the subordinate clause comes at the beginning of the sentence, it's followed by a comma. There are several types of sentence fragments, and here are the common ones. The first one, fragments, those are missing subjects, and subjects complement verbs and perform the action. Missing them will result in incomplete thoughts. Examples is taking the bus to work, dances under the light of the moon, walked slowly towards the big red button, certainly requires dedicated practice. The second type is sentence fragments, those are missing verbs but have subjects. And without verbs, we have no idea about what is happening because verbs tell about what the subject is doing. Examples spooky scary skeleton, the mad scientist, three French hens, two turtle doves, and a partridge in a bird tree. Now, focus carefully on the following examples that illustrate how easily sentence fragments can be borrowed from natural conversations and incorporated into formal writing by connecting them with other sentences. In the first example, I have two best friends, Ron and Harry. Here we can connect the two expressions with a comma and hence add some words to integrate the fragment to become a full sentence. I have two best friends and their names are Ron and Harry. There are three pieces of cheese on the platter, Swiss, good as, brie. Here, the speaker wanted to enumerate items or types. So for connection, we use commas plus the conjunctions and or plus a semicolon, as you see. In the third example, a question, when is the store open? The answer, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Here also, we use comma for enumerating and add the needed words to form a correct sentence to become, I think it is open on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The first type is the participle fragments. That starts with a present participle. Between brackets, a verb ends in ing, or a past participle, which is a verb ends in ed. These fragments act as an adjective in a sentence. Examples, the girl sleeping on the bench is our neighbor. Two, exhausted from the long hike, she collapsed onto the couch. It is easy to confuse a verb and a participle acting as an adjective, since they often share the same ending. And to clarify that, we say a verb shows an action, a condition, or a fact that something exists, while a participle acts as an adjective that modifies a noun or a pronoun. Now, let's explore how to integrate a sentence fragment into formal written English. To fix sentence fragments, we need to turn them into complete sentences by adding the missed element and put it in its right place. Here are some examples. Number one, under the light of the moon. This is missing a complete thought, and we need to join it with an independent clause like the werewolf Bob Star dances under the light of the moon. Two, washed clean by the rain. This is missing a subject, and we can add it to become the car was washed clean by the rain. The girl sleeping on the bench. This one is missing a verb. We can fix it by adding a verb like the girl sleeping on the bench is our neighbor. Preparing themselves for the test. This is a participle phrase that is missing a complete thought. So we can join it with another sentence like the students engaged in thorough review sessions and practice exercises preparing themselves for the test. Confused by the assignment, a participle phrase that is missing a complete thought, and we can combine it with a complete sentence to give it the meaning it lacks. The students sought clarification from the teacher, confused by the assignment, until the whole world knows her name. A dependent clause that cannot stand alone as a sentence, so we can join it with an independent clause to form a longer sentence. Until the whole world knows her name, she will continue working hard. Now, it's really important to note that sentence fragments are not allowed in formal writing and journalism, as they are may be considered grammatical errors, regardless of their intended meaning. In contrast, sentence fragments are often used in spoken language or informal conversation with friends, family, or even strangers on the street, and they would be natural and acceptable. Fragments can be effective in certain contexts, such as advertisements, to draw attention. Some examples for that: the taste of adventure, luxury within reach, unleash your potential, pure bliss. Your journey starts here. Writers also often use fragments to make their words more persuasive, exciting, or memorable, especially when they are used in an introduction to a piece of writing. Now let's have a small exercise. Revise the following expressions to form complex sentences similar to the two examples provided. A. She seeks support from a friend. Full stop. A friend who truly cares. Here we can join the two sentences by adding a comma in between. B. They enjoy hiking in the mountain. Full stop. They love the fresh air and stunning views. And here we can conjoin the two sentences with the word because to give the good reason why they enjoy hiking. Then it will become they enjoy hiking in the mountains because they love the fresh air and the stunning views. With this, I have come to the end of this lesson. In the becoming video, we are going to summarize everything about sentence types. So, till then, I hope you will be fine and see you later, inshallah. Bye bye.